Okay. So I'm finally back. Yeah, I was watching the whole election drama. As you can imagine, as soon as I saw that data set come in where they dumped a bunch of fraudulent votes into the machine and spiked the Dominion software, and people just decided they were just going to upload votes on a USB drive in a literally flash upload. I saw that data spike. I thought, God, it reminds me of bad tick data. It looks like a gap opening on a weekend. That's the overnight. Well, we had a little, and then they had those clips on TV of people at the news saying stuff like, "Hey, it's crazy. Look at how all of a sudden we got a bunch of votes in here. Shh, like it's crazy, huh? Are people really? The emperor's clothes are that good looking these days? Like, what is going on here?" Um. Anyways, being a total shock, I had to sit back and watch the show, as they say. Still watching it. Unfucking believable, really. Now, I mean, if you think the market's rigged, I mean, I know the elections are rigged. Of course, we always kind of knew that in the back of our mind that a couple dead people were getting out of their fucking graves and voting. We kind of knew that, didn't we? Know that going in. I don't want to break anybody's heart, but there's a lot of fraud. There's even this thing called credit card fraud, and it's so funny because if you own, they say don't ever start a fight with somebody that buys ink by the gallon. Of course, now if you can just buy servers by the fucking yard, um, you know, at a very discount price, where you park your data and stuff. But yeah, I mean, so my opinion was, and of course, I had the fundamental opinion that yes, Trump was going to get more votes than Jesus, and that was obvious. And there was more people that were willing to go out and risk their, go out and spend the money to parade around and support him. And I think those people were actually voting for him. So the people that don't turn out, right? So the secret voters or the people that don't want their house burned down, there's them. But wow, I just never thought in my lifetime I'd get to see the total expression of insanity. Taken to the level of like, who knew? Like I saw these Dominion machines. I went immediately to the YouTube-ness, and I saw the salesmanship of it's like 2-year-old film of Dominion selling this thing in Chicago. And then the funny one was they're selling it in Arizona. They go, yeah, we already got these things over in Wayne County, Detroit. We got them in, yeah, we got this stuff. Forget it. I mean, it's the fact that Frank came out. This whole, oh, we're going to fix it in the mix. No, it's a bad take. You fucked up. I mean, you cannot fix this shit. But the market's reaction to it is just mind blowing. I don't have gold up here on the chart, but gold's not really doing anything entertaining. I just have these guys up here because I just wanted this kind of big picture. If you notice, NASDAQ climaxed all-time highs. I saw some wannabe thinker. It's funny because I'm on these hating groups on Facebook, and that's another. I fell into the hole of just typing my anger instead of doing my videos. So I'm really digging in to like, you're out of your fucking mind. Like, I don't know if there's one of those LOLs for that, but like people are out of their fucking mind. And you can see this on full display, but it's the group think or the mob mentality. And of course, the idea that somebody who's kind of like John Wayne is dangerous. John Wayne's a little too patriotic, maybe, right? So people kind of like, which statues can we tear down as if that's helping? Right? So the fact that you change the album cover, it doesn't help that the music inside, like I like the warnings they put on there. Remember this one before Corona, there was this thing where if you listen to this music, you would start like sacrificing your neighbor and shit. Heavy metal, inhale singing, devil worship music, this whole thing. And that was like the big crime of the century, right? And you gotta watch out because your kids were being like taken away by goblins and Hansel and Gretel kind of situations. Always bad, right? So here we got the markets responding, I would say, to this situation. Bitcoin, like what the fuck? Now some guy posted, I suppose anybody that posts stuff, comments on my videos is trying to like, try to be like me. They're trying to be like me, like an asshole, but it's not going to work because I'm a bigger asshole. But like some guy said, well, good luck shorting the Bitcoin. Yeah. You know what? So what you have to understand is when Bitcoin took out the highs, the all-time highs, and went above like 20,000, whatever, I would say buckle up, because now you're looking at a vacuum above you. And I just say, for a better sense of what's going on, the universe is supposedly expanding at all time after the Big Bang. There's still not that, I haven't heard anybody talk about chemtrails of the Big Bang lately. So we're going to get back into the minutia of life now that the grand parade is over from people attempting to have their voice heard. Mind blowing, right? And the lockdowns go on like, okay, so I don't know what happened there. Like, there's two things wrong. Okay, we know corruption. This is like, we always know dead people are voting, but explain to me this fucking mask up and lockdown. Because, dude, it's just been announced today. I don't know if you heard this. Nobody's dying and everything's okay. Just because, yeah, because you have a new regime. So you have a 4-year regime, and this is just how the things are. And people use these cycles in the market, like, hey, look, administration here. And then they'll say, so some guy pipes in about, well, look at the stock market's up your all-time highs ever since Biden regime came in. Market's all-time highs. Look at that. Crazy. Hey, Bitcoin's, to correlate these things in real time, I don't think anybody thinks that there's not going to be a little bit of a pushback when it's like you're going to have the mask up. Okay, it's a suggestion. These are all suggestions. And people are willing to take the bait to a certain level. And I always said, who bothers protesting? Honestly, I still think to this day, if you're protesting, you should just be home either surfing for good porn, or you should be doing something like, I don't know, artwork maybe. Something, I don't know. Trading, right? Make money. You're going to go out and stomp your feet. You think they give a fuck? Dude, they don't give a fuck. What you do is you just go on strike. You just you just don't participate. I hate to, be the bearer of, I hate to be encouraging unmotivated living, but there's nothing you can do about it. It's a juggernaut. It's not got a mind of its own. It's on autopilot, You can't stop it. What else? So, something weird on the platform here. I can't get to my. I got this new recording software. It's not working out already, but because I can't see part of the platform, this MT4. But it's all right. We get around with that. We don't. The market's going to close here in like a few minutes. But look, anybody out there that's trading stocks, can I ask you now, is there any fundamental correlation here? No, people are fundamentalists. We have the NASDAQ, and I have the full data set here, courtesy of Hugo's Way. Are you buying the NASDAQ here? I know people are bullish. I know it's in an uptrend, but I don't want to be a contrarian. It really kind of like go against the crowd here, but with all the, is this going to be when the crowd wakes up, the mob, the herd? Supposedly nobody knows what's going on. I don't know. I don't believe it. Maybe because I'm just too into it. Like, all I do is watch and tune into the alternate news, and not so much the real news. You don't have to tune into, because most of those are just snippets of talking points, right? Orange man, bad, or whatever, fill in the blank, This binary thinking. Of course, it's not like it's not useful if you're getting swept up into the emotion of that, because it's like a bad trade. What's happened here is Dominion Software is like trading a Ninja Trader with no monitor. Like, what? You really want to do that? Like, okay, so it wasn't too much effort to go out and vote onto a digital network. And, well, a paper ballot is for a starting point, right? That was the starter kit. Of course, once you take my paper ballot and you start to manipulate that and start to do weird shit, and there's no archive, you delete the backups. There's no, okay, it's mind blowing, right? On any level, it's mind blowing. Like people not being allowed to observe the voting, right? So on every level, it's mind blowing. And it would be as if, somebody was sending you bad data and really fucking your account up, right? Really hunting your stops. And, but what's going on here? I don't even know. I mean, to make money, okay, this is the other thing, is that at this point in time, do you think this chart is going to, like, I guess you run a logarithmic scale to kind of like smooth out the data here, but this is linear price. This is like ridiculous, right? This is it. This is the top. And I would start selling into that. Now, that would be the other thing. Would you just sell right here? If you said, well, this is the tippity top. No, I think there could be a little bit of follow through coming. And this is when momentum trading works out, right? And being able to judge these ranges. It's about increments for me, because I cannot imagine picking that today, right now, at almost 4:30 p.m. at the end of the week, going into this wackadoodle asleep at the wheel administration, which is kind of like a non-administration. So luckily for the moment here, because these people are so incompetent and so not ready to administer. It's supposed to be an administration. So you could say what you want about some guy was going off about all these failures that Trump had, but I mean, this would be just like it stopped out of a 20K to make more back and then some on the 50K. It's not going to matter. In the grand scheme, what really matters is that we're still allowed to complain about it in any direction it's going. And so for all the bleeding hearts that finally got the dog that finally caught up to the car, now you got the car, and they're still burning down the cities. So you're still gonna trash the place because it's not enough. It's like drinking salt water; it's just never enough. But okay, so I put together my scripts into a little more organized situation. I put them on these trees here, and that's the key. I don't have a script for the Nasdaq, but if I did, my approach to trading is scaling in and scaling up. Because if you could trade one decision, if you just say, right here, I'm going to sell 5 million, I'm going to get a loan. I'm going to put a big fat trade on here with $1,000 stop, and my account is X amount of dollars. I'm risking 2% of my account. Okay, that has to be the most. That's like saying, I am going to explain how to drive a manual transmission. Okay, just shift gears. Just shift the gears. Okay, but if I don't mention the clutch part, okay, you don't pop the clutch, do you? So I don't think you'd trade any differently than you would drive a car. I don't understand this binary approach to trading. I guess I do, because everybody thinks that if they could just find the right Fibonacci sequence or handle or ratio or news event or algorithm, and they're waiting for the algorithm to spit up a signal. Well, on the 15-minute chart, there's probably 10 trades a day. If you knew how to get in and out of the market like that. And so it's about execution, about the ability to get in and out. Like, so throwing a bank of orders above you to sell for 1 hour that are 10 pips apart, 20K. So that's 20K, covering a whole immense area. You're probably never going to get filled on these. If you get the filled on the very top, if the market's dead right now, there's no way. Right now, that's the British pound on the tick chart. There's no way you're going to get filled on anything that's even maybe 5 pips away right now. So that's my trading technique. It's like, okay, I'm saying in the next 3 hours, can we drop 50 pips? Is there a void? Is there an area? Is there a vacuum? Is there a area up north of this NASDAQ right here that we could sell? Yeah, I'd be willing to put up 150K and maybe get filled on 75K. That's above where we're at now. Just to do it properly, you don't want to repeat any of your entries, or you can have different ratios for those groups of tickets. But because you have MT4, you can do these trades now. These are unthinkable trades. I guess this is like so going back to Trump's approach, is that why would he try to do the dumb shit that politicians do? He looks at the problem. He goes, okay, well, look at this. We could do this. Nobody, oh, you could just take hydroxychloroquine. You could just take this malaria fucking drug. You know, you get you the ballpark. Oh, no, it's not perfect. So the utopianist, perfectionist morons come in. That's not perfect. Can't have that. It's got to be perfect. Don't take this vaccine. I'm just saying. You know, and the thing is that, okay, I love Trump, but he's as misguided about Mother Nature. Okay, it's a bad. Apparently, people are dropping like flies from this disease. I don't know if that's just the fact that people are focusing on people dying, because we have the same amount of fucking people die. Unless COVID's curing cancer, I mean, you just have to do them. It's just like the election, dude. There's 30 million more votes than voters in the whole country. If you add up 80 million with 70 million, you only got enough fucking registered voters, dude. There's 30 million extra votes floating out there. And now those could be dead people. Luckily, in fucking Forex, we don't have that problem. In this data set, this is all real tradable data. And don't think I didn't want to go long fucking Biden at 3 a.m. What a scalp. You know, if you could have traded that fucking Dominion shit coming in. Now, there's no broker for that. Not even Thinkorswim's got a data feed for that Dominion shit. With the fucking solar winds shit. I mean, dude, this is like, I've never seen so much news. To me, I knew it would be fucking ruckus, but that was fucking over the top. Now, I don't know. We go back to Boringville. Markets are going to get calm. I'm going to say here, I think volatility has reached its zenith. Are you fucking kidding me? And the Dow's saying, we're done. The Dow's saying bye-bye. And the Facebook's on this fucking Dow. Look at this thing. Are you buying up in this trap? Now, I did this trade on the British pound. I'm trading the British pound now. I dropped the euro because it was too much work, right? It's like a nano fucking trade. The thing's only moving 20 goddamn pips. The pound's moving 60 pips for every 20 pips the fucking euro's moving. So to trade the pound, you're going to need a 40 pip stop and an 80 pip stop and a 60 pip stop. For the euro, you could do the same thing with a 20 and 30 pip stop. And same with targets. So if you're trying to make, you know, you trade twice as big. And that's, you know, you're going to make 3 times as much money on the pound. You're also going to lose 3 times as much money. But the spread's not going to matter. That the fact that the spread goes from 2-ish to 3-ish, 3-ish on the pound, you know, you make that up. If you're really going to, since you went from a 20 pip stop to a 40 pip stop, you're already past the threshold of it making a difference. You're actually saving 5%. I did the math. So I did the math quite a few times. I did it like, you know how people write notes, like don't forget to put gas in the car. Those kind of dumb notes. And people say, I'm not writing the note because I'm going to read the note later. I'm just writing it so that I kind of have this ingrained vision of me writing the note. Look at that. It's already selling. My cell's already working here. Look at this. Did I call the top here or what? Now, I want to ask you, this is the end of this is actually the 4-hour chart, and people have already sold this, don't you know? Not really. I'm missing data here. No, we just pulled off the top there. Okay, NASDAQ. I'm pretty sure, wait, this is the NASDAQ, right? Okay, I'm missing no, this is the Dow. So the NASDAQ, but see how the Dow is already climaxed? Okay, on my drawing tools, okay. Now let me turn this on. So here's you got to customize this. And the brokers hide the rectangle because they know that's how you make money with the rectangle. Insert rectangle. Let's see here. Okay, so here's the order banks area here. But if you're going to sell the top of this, and I'm into selling new highs and buying new lows, I want to buy the wick. So I saw the hammer trade. You know, I saw this hammer pattern. When I started out, I thought, well, look at that hammer. And I thought, can't I just trade the wick of the hammer? Do I have to trade the end of the hammer? I mean, and then, well, are we going to go long or short? Yeah, after the hammer forms. Well, let's trade the fucking wick of the hammer. Let's just assume there's going to be a hammer. And let's just lay a bunch of orders out there. And if we get picked up on some, whatever. I'm not going to go for fancy because it just doesn't make money. Fancy, just, boutique stuff. Like I said, how many Rolls Royces are you going to sell? You could sell chiclet. What are these things the kids are eating? Pod. Those pod things, those suds things. I mean, come on, those are easier, right? So I'm going to draw this as a box instead of a background. This is my capture window, so to speak. All right, so that was I had to take a break. Look at this. Look at this chart here. This is the daily Dow Jones and US 30. Isn't that amazing? Look at this thing. Can you believe the sell-off here? So this is last year, and my God, man, that is just amazing. I can't even imagine. Okay, so after years of trading and looking at charts and running moving averages and stuff, and I have one up here on Bitcoin just for kicks. A 34 simple moving average, I think. No, linear weighted, actually. And I sit there and I would go through and I would think to myself, what about a moving average crossover system of like, of course, Fibonacci, nice thing about there is it limits your choices, right? So you have the sequence. So you're not doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're cutting it down to like groups. So a moving average of 5 crosses the 8. Okay, go long. Yeah, it looks great, And you could probably train a robot to do some of that stuff. But then, it's going to work great on the 4-hour chart until the market gets too quiet and it's going to get whipsawed and it's going to get too many bad signals. Okay, this is the obvious flaw of no-nonsense trading, is that you can't just let the car drive itself. Sometimes it's better if you drive your own car. You don't see, maybe this is coming, that the Indy 500 or the whatever NASCAR is going to have like I'll just sit back in the booth. I can drive my fucking car right here, remote, and just smash it up, don't care. I don't know. If you're in the car, you can feel the way it's turning, right? Is that going to judge? Well, we can have a chair that you have a remote chair that has feel, a field chair. The more you get away from, the worse it is. You can't do remote living. You can't do this. I don't know what's going to happen. But it's a good thing because it's good to rock people, rattle people's cages. Who knew that you had to wear a mask to go get something to fucking eat? I mean, are you fucking kidding me? Still to this day now, I still go in the stores here, of course, where I live. I don't think anybody gives a fuck. But, that's the beauty, right? When nobody gives a fuck, that's the best living there is. And I don't give a fuck. So I'm just trying to carry the creed of relaxed thinking. This is also a Mark Douglas. So I'm going to talk about Mark a little bit here because this is the whole reason for my approach is that Mark Douglas says, and once I get other stuff hooked up here, so I got the new computer, but I don't have the other stuff hooked up yet, is that I want to have where he's talking and I kind of interpret the way I see what he's saying. And there's a profound video. It's actually still up there. It's from, it's like the 4th tape of him speaking at a, it was hosted by this, not a Thinkorswim, but something like that. And he says, when you're in a trade and you're thinking this trade's got to work. And there's a big problem there because it means this trade. Okay, this car has to be the car. This is the girlfriend. This is why it's so hard to trade in this. I'm just going to say it, I'm going to get censored, but trade like a slut, because if you get all like concerned about this trade has to work, well, no, not this girl. You'd be like that guy from the Kiss band, right? The bass player. He's fucked supposedly 500 women. Wilt Chamberlain's coming in close second. Of course, apparently he's got, more to yield. But what's going on? So this kind of, this trade has to work. Once you get down to this, once you get granular in trading in micro lots. Okay, so I thought that was the magic. When I first came into Forex, it was trading commodities was the riskiest thing you could possibly do in the world because you could literally lose more than you have. When you saw the Forex approach, Forex come on the scene, you know, unless you heard about it, which no retail trader actually, I think, heard about until there was a micro lot. Because the only, so as soon as I saw it, I went to the internet and I looked at every fucking broker. I mean, 200 brokers. And some of these brokers are like, you know, unless you're going to trade a mini, you know, forget about it. And you can't get the tight spread or you can't get the low commissions unless you trade bigger. Yeah, because now, you know, you're not like, you're not using their leverage. You're going to have to pay to use their leverage. So you can trade at 1,001, 501 out there. And you trade Bitcoin. So you got these things you can do now. And it's there, right? It's there. And I'm going to put this in a zip file. I'm going to show you, I'll run through the greatest hits. I just put in the greatest hits. I'm still writing new scripts, but these are drag and drop scripts. And here's a more precision approach to trading. So just before the market closes, I'm just going to throw some trades out there. Okay. What I'm doing here is it's like options. Somebody mentioned options. Because when I'm putting an expiration on here of 2 hours, I'm asking the market to go up and take out this top in 2 hours from now. Okay, I know this doesn't seem like a big trade to you, but we're risking $6 to make $6 here. This is a 3K, 1 pip apart for 2 hours in a 5 pip window. Essentially the top. I'm skipping every other pip there. So it's a 5 pip window, and I got all these scripts in here, right? So I got from the top of here, I've got a 5 pip window, the 10s, and inside of each of these is a trade management. I have the trades. We can close them all. We can close all profitables. We can close, and I'm missing one on here because it's supposed to have this. Okay, so some of these, and it's a lot of work to put this together, but because we have close by symbol, and this is going to be if you're trading more than one currency. But if you're just trading one currency really hard, you're just going to get out of everything that is profitable. And I made this harder to get to. I don't want to get out of a trade. So if I build up a swing trade in here, I don't want to accidentally, so I made it so that you got to open this up. Closed ticket is always available because it's not really, it's not going to hurt too much. So if you see the market coming after your order bank and you know that you put in a 3-hour order bank up here, and you're like, holy shit, they're going to crush that window. And this is my personal concern approach, and is that the way I'm trading this on pure limits mostly, although I did trade at the market, because if you plan on the market coming down here, this is the trade. Don't forget, this is the British pound making all-time highs here. Right, so this isn't too much of a secret. A lot of people know this trade. I'm not giving away any secrets here, but this is the high of the previous day. This is the, let me just change the period separator color here. Okay, so I want to make this a little more dramatic. It's going to be the foreground. Yellow green. Here's the beginning and end of the day, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So here is one day. And if your orders lasted one day, and you can have a script last one day, but I'm trading max 8 hours, right? So if I put sell limits up here, that when the market is down here, when the market's down here, I could have placed a sell order here that lasted all day. Well, actually, it only has to last, so I can do a 12-hour. You could write a 12-hour script, but imagine it lasts all day. When the market's down here, I put the order in. So this is the point at which I'm getting, the setup's already there. So here's the moment that this happens. So I got a new demo account here. I got to redo these colors or it'll just drive me nuts. Seriously, I can't handle that color. So, and the thickness could be thicker too. So that I dropped the order there, and I get picked up on this trade, you know. So I traded this because I saw it coming, and what I really couldn't believe, and of course this is where orders that last an hour or less, 15 minutes is the shortest. I didn't go past 15 on this though. So if you're going to trade really low risk, and this is a 10 pip window, so the window's defined, the first thing is the window. how many pip range are you going to trade? So if you go to 20 pip range, all I have in here right now is the 8 hours. Now these are real giant canvassing tickets, this is going to be a 20 pip range starting right here. And this is like, you can't really get too hurt on this. Like seriously, I'm risking $12 to make 6. Now I know I'm risking more than I'm going to make, but I'll probably make my 6. I mean, even ask Ryan Brown, he would even understand this. I'm just teasing. Nice guy. I'm sure, nice guy. I know his wife's hot. That's all. I know that. So I don't know how he did that. He's got algo for that. But so here is a crop. Now that is 10K. And we've seen this trade before. So when is this appropriate? It would be here, right? And this is another trade I did. So I'm really into buying new highs and selling new lows. Let me zoom out and show you the trades I've been doing on the pound here, because in the end, that's all that matters is money. Now, the beauty of this system is supply and demand trading. I thought it was a key I don't have. Okay, so let me delete all objects, start over. Okay, so here's the 20 pip grid, and this is 100 pips. I just put the 100s in bold. And there's really no respect for the 100 or the 20, but if you want to imagine that, it's about how many pips you're trying to make on these trades. So I'm this close to doing the PAM account, but I have to find somebody that's, I have to find an account that, I don't know which broker allows that. Because, like I said, it's bad enough. We've got Benghazi, we've got Dodd-Frank, Frank-Dodd. Somebody that knows nothing about nothing doing stuff. Wonderful, thanks. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for coming to the morning meeting with your bullshit idea. So here's a really low risk trade. 1 hour. I'm saying now on these, I'm going to go like this. I'm like, dude, come fill me there. So this is the whole system. That is when people do these binary options, this is like I'm writing an option. I'm writing a call. I'm saying, I'll take that trade. Like if they could push that up, instead of being in the option waiting for the price to happen and watching the time decay on you, the time decay is in my favor because I just created my own little mini auction, so to speak here. But looking at this chart here, I just want to run through it, of all these trades that you could take like this on pure limits, although I said there's times when you just have to say to yourself, holy shit, if you're here to watch it happen, this is the 1 hour chart, and you see them come up into this window above this high. Now this high goes back about 5 days, whatever. If you don't think that there is a supply zone, demand zone, I'm sorry, what do they call them? Icebreakers, ICT icebreakers, or a shipbuilder, rebuild back better, right? Trade swing higher. And that's not like also the fuel for the kickoff brutalization of the re-engulf of that. So I'm calling auction on this. I'm saying once we get above here, and this is only a 10 pip window, believe it or not, then we come to here. Now the scalpers are going to get out when we come back to here. They're scalp this window, right? So you could scalp that wick. If you put sell limits in a 20 pip window here, which I did, and we come to here, you could cash out. You made 40. You can redo that trade over and over again, right? Keep putting the order zone there. Here, I'm just going to randomly go through the chart now. I'm just whatever I see, because to me, this is the gold mine of trading, is the so-called stop hunt bullshit. Let me just keep doing tangential bad presentations. But look at this. Let me explain these moves to me. And once you get it below this, we don't have to look at further back than here. We also could just say stuff like, if you have a 20 pip target, you got that trade off there. If you just kept buying new lows, you got your 20 pips, right? I get that it's tanking like a whore. That trade is still available from a scalper's standpoint. Sure, if I'm going to say my moving average has crossed over here and I'm going to start looking for sells, you got 1 hour to get this trade on. When that thing goes up, or your robot saw it and said, well, we got the Goldilocks robot I wrote with the moving average crossover system. He takes that trade on the 1 hour. He loads the fucking wagon with a stop here. He never looks back. He lets that thing tank for like 3 fucking hours. Clean. 80 pips. Boom. Done. Over. You could be that guy, but you don't have to be that guy, because you could be the guy that says, you know what? I'm tired. I'm old. I've had it. Fuck them. Fuck your dominion. I'm going to put in buy limits. like a pig, like a slut down here. I'm going to sit back and watch this show. I got buy limits galore. I'm using these 20 pip goober fucks. I got some cash outs built in. When we come back to here, if I'm out of the whole position, okay, this auction is happening. There's other auctions, right? There's all these little auctions here. There's this one here. This is the way to be the distribution, the trap. Then we collapse, right? So I'm in here. I did this trade and I was like, yeah, I know I could have got out here. And when I saw this, actually, I had to get out of something there. And then I put more sell limits in. So I built a huge sell position in this island of insanity. This is no different than getting trapped under this floor here. When you see zigzags outside of fair value, now here you never got the zigzags, right? You never got that kind of, you got it here, right? So you can't say stuff like, well, it's got to happen outside of here and it's got to be, fuck that. I mean, these are ridiculous ideas. The one thing we can know for sure here is that if my scripts are designed to pick up these trades, which they do, and I'm getting out, a lot of the time I am trading at the market, but I'm getting out at the market. So I'm closing all profits because once we swoop down here, I'm counting on this rate of change being unsustainable. So if I'm putting sell limits out in front of that, and then I see it, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. We tested the Sunday breakout. How many times have we seen that? You mean they came back and they retested? Yeah, they did it again, right? So when I say they did it again, okay, all these trades, okay, we're getting filled on this. Let me just go back to trading. For the moment, we're in this trade. Let's just go back to the, shit, okay, wait. Let me go back to the, what's going on here. Let me delete that and I'm going to put in some new tickets. So I'm asking the market, I'm giving this market an hour to take out this high, and we're already in like 1K here. 501 leverage here at Hugo's way. Hugo's way, okay, say what you will. Yeah, no, don't hold a big position into 5 p.m. because the spread's going to get so wide here. It'll go to 4 pips. It'll go to 10 to 20 to 40 pips on the pound, and people are saying, well, they stopped me up. Broker Hunter might stop. No, dude. This ECN floating spread, as soon as the 5 p.m. comes on this broker that's not, I guess, big enough to hold a tight spread. I don't know. Like, if you're worried about that, no, you got to get out. That trade's over. Like, if you didn't get in here for this, if you didn't put your buy limits down here, you knew this low existed, right? So in the middle of the day, you knew this was a bounce house area. So the trade I did was many of them actually. So I sold into this. And so I got crushed here, but I think so I'm forced to, when I see this move, if I'm a seller, I'm going long here. I'm going to get out of my shorts, whatever crop of shorts I have, because I can see, well, I'm not going to go long. And I can see they're going to come in and buy it. And even if they don't, if I lose $30 or $80, I know I've got so many sell limits up here waiting for this moment. And we knew this would be a classic. This is the 1 hour chart. I mean, how could you fuck this trade up, right? On the half hour chart even. So the half hour chart, if it's you and you're babysitting the market, you see this pullback here. You could do a structured trade. And the problem with moving averages, you're never going to see this where you break out here, right? You take out this vacuum. And there are sellers in there, and you could be one of them. You can go either way. Here I'm selling into this, right? As this crushes up, and I get filled, and then I know there's only 7 minutes left, but when you don't think unless a gap opens to the upside, but no, I can already see next week's trade. So to me, it's just a gold mine, and I can easily place orders in these windows and say, oh yeah, when it gets above this, I can sell heavy. But here's the whole secret of this system is I'm not going to put an order in here that lasts 5 months, because if the rate of change, the momentum of the market is such a driver, and that's what I'm using as part of my entry, is that it's got to push up here and hit that before these tickets expire. And if it does, it's a great trade. So I'm short this thing. I see the buyers come in here, and this is a classic place to get in for even this move, which is a nice move. I didn't take it. What I did was I was already short, so I put in more sell limits. I go, you know what? We're trapped up in this window. I don't know how long it's going to take for this thing to crack. So when it came down here, I scalp out of a few, trying to hold them in shorts. How much big position? I'm building a position above in this island up here. Once we got to here, I thought, wow, so coming out of Asia last night, I was like, yeah, but I'm glad that, okay, so here we get the trap. We don't actually trap this top, but we get this big, fast run up at the end of the day. And here comes Asia. We start to drift down, and I thought, wow, here, are we going to go like this? Now, a lot of people would be thinking, are we going to go like this now? And just keep driving? Is this the place to get in? But I knew there was news coming out at 2 a.m. And by the time, at this point here, we fall into this hole. Now I think we got to come back here. This should be the fuel. If you think this whole filling was the fuel for this move, then how far do we have to dip in? Because look at all the fuel we picked up just from this little void getting filled. And then here, and nothing to fill over here. Then this starts to fill up. We fill that. Once we cave in here, here comes the news at 2 a.m. and it's like, oh, dipping in the window. Well, the news is about to come out. News comes out. This crush is a product of this. Okay, so this is the cause. Is this nice trend trade and all the robot stops. Don't forget there's still these goober bots. Don't forget, it's not just people. They're getting stop hunted. That stuff's stacking up. Crushes in once filled. And on this chart, the half-hour chart actually, sorry, it was on the 1 hour chart, but I don't know. These are trades that are available if you're babysitting the market. But if you're not, right? So if you have to go out or go to sleep, you can still do these other trades, which I did. So after this, I got out here. So I knew my exit was going to be down in this stuff. And it didn't take this trade very heavy here, but I knew it was there. So I cash out here as we dive down in. Then I put some buy limits in. I made a few bucks and I went back to sleep. I figure a lot of people are going to get out here. It didn't exactly come back to here, and definitely if it ever came back to here, people are going to get out of that. It's a very quick trade, but then I went back to sleep and I put more buy limits in here, cashed out a little bit in here. So what I'm getting out at the market, because these have, if they have a 10 pip target, these already got out. This whole bank of tickets in here. Look at it pulled off there. So look at that. I'm actually up 6 goddamn cents into the close. Thank you very much. Just for putting sell limits up there like an idiot. Right now the buy limits down here, market's closed too. But I know these. I know what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy in this area. For how long am I going to have these pendings? Right? How long am I going to let the tickets sit there and lay in wait? This is a crime. This is how you kill the market. And the last trade of the day here was really this run here. It's starting to run out of energy, and it gets very quiet. Like this is Asia. Coming into Asia. Here's another setup, which if you can trade all three ways, right, at the market, which is okay. The market's up, sell. Because you're timing the market when you trade at the market. Otherwise, you would just get filled in your limits, right? You could put those limits get filled while you're sleeping. And if you're keen enough to trade at the market with the limits, the ultimate way, because this is going to save you constantly babysitting. I don't know if anybody can stay awake 24 hours and watch a 15-minute chart, but that would be the ultimate, right? Half-hour chart, little lower maintenance, a little less watching. Okay, the market's closed. I'm going to just go full screen on the chart here. It's almost like going full retard. I also want to do some videos of other people, but I don't have that thing hooked up yet. But there's this trading warrior girl. It's so cute. She puts on these goober trades, and she talks about her trading and stuff. And I'm only here to help, But let me get rid of this. So we go full screen. But it's so funny to watch people with their... oh, the market hasn't closed yet. Sorry. Well, actually, this broker closes 5 minutes early. Some brokers do that because the spreads get so bad. Look at the spread's at 3 right now. They don't want to let you see the spread. Okay, I get my homegrown coffee here. I'm making my own coffee now. I had a fight with somebody at the gas station. Speedway was doing my, that was like a pour over robot. But, nah, I got higher end coffee here. And they give me a hard time, you know. And, I'm not getting along well with people. Then the mask thing, if I see another person with a mask, I'm just thinking to myself, like, seriously, like, if this is a Star Wars 9, what version of this mask are we up to now? So we can see the whole landscape here, and we can do this thing where we can plan out next week. A little advanced, right? So if what's going to happen here? And you can do a robot playback. I haven't done a robot yet on this new computer, so I'm curious to see what happens. As far as, I don't know if I could, like I said, I don't think the robot idea, I guess. Okay, so a robot that just throws these tickets out there, these limit orders, and all it cares about is how many times it drops them and how wide they are. And for that, I would say turn on the robot that's lowing. When the market's heating up and it goes into high volatility mode, start putting orders in with the robot. And I have a robot for that. That just throws the orders out there. And they have an expiration time on it and everything. And just have them go out there. And this way, when the market plunges and retraces, you could cash out of some of that if it hasn't been stopped out because of the way you wrote the script or the trade plan. And so you're taking this idea of having to make one decision, and you're just that just goes out the window. I mean, it's like think about it as like voter fraud. Once you get into a thing where you can make you can win by 150 million votes, and there's only 100 million people in your country. Now we're talking. Now you've really made it so your vote's not so important. This loss you're having. And this also, you don't have to take responsibility who gets in office either. You kind of like, it's a free ride both ways. It's what they say, a win-win situation. But so, here's the thing with these basket tradings, and I think that's where Ryan Brown, his robot's doing basket trading. What it's doing is, though, from what I can perceive, it's trading at the market. When it sees a signal, it gets in like, boom, boom, boom. Now you need a fast server and all this nonsense. It's a high frequency trading at the market. It's different than what I'm doing is supposedly you're supposed to get these tickets filled before anybody else because these are limit orders. They'll fill before any market orders. That was what they would say at the exchanges in the old days. And who cares if they even abided by that? Like I said, it's a big fucking, it's a mess. And you have to trade like a slut, right? Because it's a messy market. Look at this market. It's a pile of clusterfuck shit. And this is the half-hour chart. There's plenty of trades on here, and some of these are just astounding, the volatility. And the reaction is because of the vacuums that are being filled, and the backlash, the engulfings, mind-blowing. Like I'm sure I don't need to be too sophisticated to imagine a 8-hour chart, or if you went to MT5, I'm sure you could put on the 6-hour chart and go, look at this engulf here. Like, we closed here and then we come flying back, right? What a beautiful, what a magical trade that was, And there's another magical trade. Look at that, a V. So we're filling voids though, Even this one, if you had a sell limit here at the top of that wick, right? Because we know there's a supply zone at the very tippy top. Even ICT knows this trade, right? This half-hour chart, you don't need the 15 actually. As soon as we get above that wick, notice the scalpers advantage. That's their trade. The trend traders, unbeknownst to them, the trend traders, if they just buy every half-hour pullback, you got a moving average, right? This is when it pays off. I get it. This is when your Goldilocks, your algorithm you built. But of course, now don't forget, it's got to run on a half hour. You got to babysit it. You got to pull the trigger. Or are you going to be a structured trader? Are you going to place a buy limit here at this? This is the high. right? So you're going to say, let me go for my blue color here. Maybe I'll reach out. Maybe this will make sense more with a blue color. But this is a top, right? We can say this is a top of some type. And even that, you can see the people that scalped off of this, right? You have a pocket of sell limits here. They fill them. There's your first scalp. Then kind of like your last chance to really cash out of that. Now there's another crop of sell limits here and here that I have situated because I know this is a supply zone. We fill it, we crush it. It doesn't mean the market's going to fucking go to here and some goddamn Gartley shit. Target. This is the pie in the sky, stuff. Servers on the moon. This stuff, crazy, right? We all know what the score, right? There's no... Okay, women can go into, let's say, it's called exotic dancing business. Like, go on the internet. How many cam girls versus cam guys? It's rigged. So you know that going in, right? It's gonna be, I say just become, it doesn't matter anymore. Look at these Republicans. They're fucking like communists. So what the fuck? Who cares anymore? Like, the Constitution is non-existent. It's null and void. Come on. You can't even own your own home. People say, oh, I'm a homeowner. No, you're not. After you pay the mortgage off, if you don't pay taxes, I guarantee you they're going to come rip you out of your house. I don't care how many fucking Uzis you own. Yeah, unless you're so that's how you get the break, right? You live in the mansion that the people pay for. That's movie star. That's Hollywood for shiny faced people. Hollywood, that's the thing. But you live in a fishbowl then. The downside of that is it becomes a Twilight Zone episode where it's too much of a burden, right? And I don't know. I still don't know how people even bother. Well, I guess it's an industry, right? You're going to sell a course on trading, right? And people still comment about the ICT. I figured it out. This is a guy. He reminds me of a guy that would pilot a ship. Because I saw his journal and stuff, and I was just talking to my guitarist, or he's the drummer. He became a drummer. Because the guitarist, what happened there? I forgot what happened. Something. Our drummer is so wackadoodle. So when people are talented, they're out of their fucking minds. So he's not in the picture right now. And so I was talking to him about it, and we all agree on stuff. And the fringe, right? So all the creative people are on this lunatic fringe, and that's where you're getting all these designs, right? So the Steve Jobs and the Elon Musk, these people that are like, oh, I got this idea. It's nuts. You're fucking nuts. No. And I just saw my account change a penny there. They rigged it. So I was up 6 cents, and I'm only up 5. So the trading thing, I know people want to approach it as if it's like, if I only had the so-called Holy Grail or Fibonacci, if I only had that, then I'd be able to take advantage of these trades. You'd still need to pull the trigger on that trade. And I remember this when I went to these classes on how to trade better and not get emotional about it. They referred to trading as pulling the trigger. But, when you're shooting with a BB gun, or a pellet gun, I guess a 22 if you're trading depending on the size of your account, if you're trading the British pound, you're moving up to this. And once you get to a rocket launcher, Stinger missile, cannon, tank, how many shells are in a tank? How many rounds are in that thing? Sure, you're taking down buildings, but costing you so much to put that trade on, And if you've got a lifestyle where, I guess this is why people are selling trading courses. Because it's easier to think about education as a career than to take what you know and build that building. This is the reason why people that golf pros at the golf course could probably be on the PGA and win. Don't they know what the fuck they're doing? They see bad trading or bad swinging all day long. Yeah, I'll show you. Here's what you do. This is what the problem is, see? And that's what I'm doing in these videos. People say, why are you criticizing these people? Because I'm seeing what they're doing. I'm going, you're out of your fucking mind. I mean, okay, I get that you want to be politically correct and mystic at the same time and superstitious, right? If I only voted with, maybe if I voted more better, my vote would survive the manipulation by the decimal voting system, the fractional reserve voting. Okay, somehow, right, in this, the trading world's full of people that are like, yeah, I want to own some gold. And gold has survived. Gold's not doing that great. Gold is just a hard reality of labor. Now, the Bitcoin thing, I'm telling you, it pulled back $10,000. Okay, so some guy was making a comment about shorting Bitcoin as it screamed up. I'm like, yeah, it's just like this. If you decided to short the pound during this and you go, yeah, I'm a contrarian, sure. I'm just going to start shorting this run. All right, that's not going to always be a good idea, right? Until this moment here. And if you really sold heavy above this would be the ICT order block. And I talked about this rooftop here, this smooth piece of here, right? How that is the cause and effect. There has to be a cause and effect. And this is in the middle of the night. Don't forget, this is happening while you're sleeping. If you're a U.S. trader, I know I'm not helping, but let me just run through what happens to somebody that goes along this currency in Asia in a big position here. And you can't blame them. I think this trade is available on this half-hour chart all day long, where your moving averages finally cross over here. You're in the cloud. You get the go-ahead. You got the setup. And, bless anybody's heart that's waiting for a fucking engulfing pattern this way as opposed to the pullback. I got the engulf. I'm going to go long. And look, these orders are going to delete themselves. I don't know if you noticed, but on the weekend, you can put orders that last all day. On Saturday, they'll actually delete off the platform. That's kind of cool because you can put orders in right now for next week. So when the market opens, you can have a limit sitting here. I don't know if the brokers like that, but they don't have a choice, right? I never had anybody not take that trade. Of course, it could blow through your stop if you have a stop down here, but let that go. This thing, you get the pattern here, right? You like it. I pull the trigger. I go fucking hog long. I put a stop in here. Now, I'm sure this has happened to one guy out there. I'm going to, with a $4 trillion a day market and probably $500 billion on the pound all day long. I'm going to give the euro like $1 trillion. It's so heavily traded. It's very not moving. There's not enough drama there. And the pound of the dollar, you forget what no nonsense says about the dollar's manipulated. You want it manipulated. Okay, I'm just saying you want drama. You get in here, you get the fucking, it broke out. You even took the extra ounce. And I saw the Warrior Girl did a trade where she put it a limit down here. I think that, I've seen some people do that trade. That is the trade. Sure, you could probably both. And this is, okay, there is no the trade. This is the whole problem. There is no, this has got to be the trade. So why not buy at the market here, or okay, this is Asia. After this breakout, why not put a buy stop here? But then buy some more on the pullback. Why deny any of these trades, right? If this is the half-hour chart on the 15, you're buying every 15 minutes is pulling back. You're building a long position. You're anticipating a fill of, well, you're kind of hoping that you take out this high of this is your final goal. And you got that. You got that all in one night. But if you did this trade from a singular position and you put your stop in here, you went long here, you went into 400 standard lots and you put a stop in here, how in the fuck are you not going, okay, I went to sleep, I woke up, and fuck, I'm down like $350. Meanwhile, I was up 3 grand. I am down $350. What the fuck? It's rigged. Now, you could have done the same singular ticket here with a stop here and woke up in the same. You could be the other guy. You could be the other guy. Not only is there not one way to trade, there is so many trades that it's just mind-boggling. Which trade do you take? Which is the best trade? I think it has to fit with your lifestyle of, do you feel good about maybe an alarm, a volatility alarm? Actually, it wakes you up because the market's just screaming up or down. You see it. You have an order ready to go with a 10 pip stop at 20. You have I've got an array actually. So I don't have like a symmetrical thing, but I got the sells with the 20 and the 30. And I got one of my favorite tickets for when I see this kind of move is a 40 pip stop to make 40 pips. So it's break even from that standpoint. But when I see this, I just start pressing the buy button, like boom, boom, boom. And the nice thing about the 1Ks, kind of slows you down. You pick up maybe a 40K here. You got the choice to dump out of some of that. If you have a 20 pip stop to make 10 and you start pulling the trigger here, you have a 33 pip stop to make 15 pips. When you pull the trigger here like a madman, you're out of that trade. You're still long maybe because you bought this crush into this hole. So you had limits in this 20 pip window. And you don't have to be the guy that's getting on this trade. The same setup happens. Here's another unique setup where you get this run here. Now, this would have been my trade to, if I'm trading setups, which is, I'm going to say pullback. If I'm trading pullback, I buy when it's coming down. You got to be a contrarian on this shit. You got to build a long position because you don't know if it's going to turn around. Which half hour is it going to turn around? You don't fucking know. How would you know? Look at this one. Some guy's going to say ABC correction here, Elliott wave, right? What the fuck? And it goes again. So if you just take every chance to get long here going, well, you know what? I could be wrong. It could tank into this hole. What about this vacuum below us? What about this one? Well, this one finally filled. So there's your answer. And when it fills, okay, all these trades are available. And these are quick and dirty trades too. Because you're a slut, don't you want it quick and dirty? You want it, what do you want to fall in love? So I know this goes against normal social norms, because people want to be so fucking, and their approach to trading is you can see how they live their life. So not that I'm swinging from the trees every day because I do sleep. And I do have what I think is the normal lifestyle, but maybe not. I don't think it is. But it's not for the idea that you bought a car that can handle, you've seen the TV commercial where they drive the Jeep across terrain. You get that Jeep out there and you get stuck in your driveway. What the fuck, okay? Just because you've got a 4-wheel drive, if you're on pure ice, you have to get a winch, okay? Not a winch. You need someone to throw a line out there, anchor the fucker, pull you out. You need a fucking dart, like a grappler. You need like a bat sign. There's so much money to be made if you can, I guess, be able to trade it, right? You still got to, even these things people say, I built this algorithm, blah, blah, blah. And then they say, well, I didn't take the trade because, I looked at the supply and demand zone, or I looked at this other aspect and it really didn't look like. This is why I'm so anti-confirmation. If somebody's waiting for the other piece of confirmation, one more piece of, it didn't take, because it didn't. We missed our entry by 3 pips. 3 pips? Fucking A. I'm getting in 20 pip windows, dude. You got to fucking be kidding me. You have to be out of your mind. Now, to enter an 80 pip window, you're going to have some money, especially if you put a 200 pip stop on each ticket. You put a $20 stop on each ticket, okay? On a micro account. Yeah, they stop you out of that, but you really think they're going to stop you out of that at the end of the day? No, but you might be down. And this is the argument against tight stops, is that you know you want that trade. So maybe a 100 pip stop, I'm sorry, maybe a 40 pip stop to make 20 pips, because you got to make them, you got to do that trade. As much as you're going to do the risk 30 to make 30, risk 30 to make 80, but how many 80 pip runs are you going to see like that? Okay. If you are in that trade, you have to let that unfold too. You'd have to ride that 80 pip move and go, well, you know, I guess I could add on the half hour pullbacks and just kind of nip at it, but that takes work, man. And this another, okay, are you going to stick, you don't want to go against plan your trade your plan. And you could go on and on about, oh, which books, let me see, well, which book to read. Well, I would say more abstract, the better. You know, not a, I guess the one that hit me was the Bill Williams, because he has a fractal. No, he's trading like a blind robot would trade. Oh, you see this fractal, and I'm not going to put the fractals up there because I'm fading him. I'm actually fading the fractal. I'm getting in the last known wick tip, but he, you know, this kind of like go with the flow thing. And once we make new highs, yeah, in a turtle trading system where you buy high and sell higher, confirmation entry, you know, you keep saying, and you're right until that bitch backs up, right? Until that trend's no longer your friend. So yeah, you could pyramid it, and pyramiding into a system like that, but you got to know when the party's over, right? You can't just keep getting more and more hookers or slots and get to the point where, okay, now you can't breathe because there's not enough air in the room. You got 100 slots. What are you going to do? You got to dump that position and you got to start over. And I guess the fun of trading is gathering the slots. See, now if you're a slot, you're a slot. But this is the nice thing about it. Why be so polite? People are so polite about trading, and then they say, I'll rip some guy apart, and they'll go, well, you know, how dare you criticize his cloud trading with his Takanashis and his Hakanashis and his Benihanas. Hey, listen, man, you know what? You can make a grilled cheese sandwich out of American cheese, but we all know that you're only like that because maybe you nostalgically grew up on that. It tastes like shit. Like right off the bat, if somebody from Mars landed, you gave them American cheese slices by Kraft America, you say, okay, this is a contest to see if you have any taste buds. Maybe you're into that. I don't know. I'll tell you right now, it's almost like, and I'm not sure that's real yellow. It's yellow dye number 3, but it's obviously a visual and a texture effect because taste-wise, there's nothing there. Right? So it's not even. It's like breakout trading. It's useless. Okay, and that's breakout trading is the confirmation entry idea. I don't do stop entry because, you know what? I'll take my chances. I'm going to get in at the market if I see that trade, only because I feel like stop entry is as bad as tight trailing stops. It's just going to be a fake out. You're trapped. So. But then again, do they work if you don't mind that psychological problem of getting in late? Okay. Now, if you want to blend it, and I've tried to blend it, right? So when I started out, I think I did the stop entry to try to be proper about it. But then I traded the market mostly because I know better than any. Like I trade the market only because I just want to get in so bad. And so the fear of missing out, but it's not I turn the fear, so the limits are the thing to, now there's a fear of the limits being filled, right? So if you have fear of missing out, and so you want to go long, and you don't want to buy at the market right now because you know if you pull the trigger right now, the price could get better. And this is another reason why these people, these strict rules, they go, well, you know, if it goes down, then it kind of blows my entry, and my trade plan was based on this criteria that's so fucking tight. Like I've said a million times, it's like looking for a girl. It's like buying clothes for a girl that you have not met yet. And you're like, oh, I know she has to be this, and her shoes can only be this size. And of course, that's before or after I hobble her. Wait, because I wrap her shoes if she's an Asian girl. I guess that's going to be the new thing. And what do you do there, right? So you can't custom fit these things and, oh yeah, okay, now I'm taking this trade for sure. And then it works out and you mark in your little journal, okay, I had 3 marching soldiers with a Hakanashi, a Takanashi. I did have that slut. He talked about putting a slut in there. I had a little bit of I just kind of a random trade in there, and then I had the strict normal setup I normally do. Very consistent trader when it comes to that. Thank you very much. Yeah, I just get a kick out of it. It's just too much. But I mean, there's anxiety there too of watching. After you know how to make a sandwich, let's say you're a high-end chef. I don't know if anybody's a high-end chef out there, but let's just say you know how to. You could probably make a burger and just do it just right and go, you know what? I'm just going to, it's the way I cook it. It's the speed I cook it. Do I sear it? Do I let a little raw on the inside? Or do I just do, you know what? We're just going to put it in the microwave, dude. Rubber biscuits, right? There was a song that the guy yelled out rubber biscuits. I don't know if he was microwaving it, but these are the things to consider. And I think that so this trade I was in, I could see when you're in a trade, say you're in a big trade, and you're in a trend trade, which is the worst trade in the world, right? Because you're at the mercy of all these range traders fucking with the market. And you're like, I know my final destination is going to be, some Fibonacci bullshit up there or down there if you're short. The feeling of watching the equity swings, so the bigger you're in, the more kind of like, oh, Jesus Christ, I'm up 300, I'm down 200. I know I'll be up 1,000 when this is over. I'm not really a big fan of that. So my workaround is, let's take something off the table. In fact, just go flat. If I'm up $300 or $500, I'll just go flat. Like, dude, that's 500 fucking bucks. I know how to get back in the market. Why would I ride this fucker if I'm trying to make 1,000? Why would I torture myself? So the more I'm able to, so I got my system back running. Because everything died at once. And my tablet died. My computer fucking died. So I bought 3 more computers. So I got my Android, which is kind of my new view of performance, because my view at 1,001 leverage is, well, for the euro, it's easy to do the math. But if I see I'm in 20K, I'm sorry, I'm using $20 a margin. I'm just going to say I'm in a 20K, which is actually lowballing it for the pound, because at some point, if I'm in a $100 margin usage, I know I'm in a standard lot, right? But I'm not in at one price. So when I see the fluctuations, and some of that's cashing out, and I do sleep. So I roll over and now I have the tablet again. I can either go take all profits and go back to sleep. If I come back to the structure level, I can get right back in. And so on a tablet, I have double clicks, which are less precise. That's super slut mode, because at least on the desktop here, when I'm doing this video, I can drag and drop precise areas and go, a supply zone up there. There's demand zone out there. And so if I put an 8-hour script in, real deep in the market, I know that the criteria for that order to get filled the market needs to drop pretty fast. And that is my edge, is that my orders disappear. I'm not sitting there waiting, like that auction's over. Okay, that's why it's an auction, see? Because there's expirations. You go to eBay, it's not. And some guy said to me, there's no place for auction trading or auction theory in the market. Are you fucking nuts? The Nobel Prize was built on auction. The last guy that won the Nobel, it was a report on the auction thing. It's a spontaneous mob event. This is like a crowd gathering around a dead slut. Right? She just went too far. But they just have the outline, the chalk outline. We can't even show you what she looks like, but there's a chalk. Oh, well, that's an interesting position. But it's all good. Now, I had to get new software, so I'm down $40 on this software, $39 using. Somebody asked what I was using before, but what I was using before was so shitty that actually I couldn't get the key to, when I got the new computer, it wouldn't accept my key. Oh, it must register on the dead computer, and that's locked. Like you have to unregister it or something. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like a Bitcoin in a fucking dump site now. How about that Bitcoin? Let me just do a little Bitcoin before I leave. I don't know how long I've been babbling, but yeah, it seems to be going forever. So yeah, let me just run through. I don't know if that any of that helped, but I would say probably not. I know it's some people get it, but you just have to figure out based on the election whether it's even worth trading. Because I mean, I think you could actually make some kind of voting software, but the blockchain is the answer. I thought about it, and maybe I was listening to somebody talking about it because sometimes I fall asleep listening to conspiratorial shit. But that the reason why Bitcoin I think went to 40,000, and this is kind of a the fact that it's uncharted water there, right? So when gold went above 1,000, it went to almost 2,000 because people are like, holy shit. And it's a piling on, right? So when people talk about gold and Bitcoin, so everybody's talking about Bitcoin, you know that, wow, you get that $10,000 pullback. What is going on here, right? And I don't have a grid for this, so I do have an indicator that's set up for that because you had to add 2 zeros to your grid for the to get it to look like kind of like this on the chart. Because it is a wackadoodle price. Here, let me go to the Bitcoins. You can't see it on here, but this is a $10,000 sell-off in Bitcoin in 1 week. Now, look at the monthly, and I'm just going to say this is a 34 linear weighted moving average here, that line. There is a point on this chart when your algorithm, and I'm just going to use the 34 moving average, and the rule set here is going to be buy any pullback above this line. Okay, this is a very simple concept, right? Anytime you're above this line and you're down, buy. Now, if you told a robot that, it's all fun and games when he buys here and he buys here, and he buys here, and he gets clobbered. This is Corona, by the way, Corona. He doesn't take any trades down here, and this is the trade he should have took. So right there, I can just negated the whole point of even having moving average, but let that go. But here it's a genius, right? And this is why it's completely ridiculous to think about building a moving average crossover system. Like, stop. I get anxiety every time, even to watch the robot test it. I start pacing and thinking, is there another drug I can take other than the one I'm taking? Let's pull back here. He gets in. Now, does he get out here? There's a beautiful topic on the bottom here on the weekly. And then off to the fucking races. Are you out of your mind? If you were to sell from here up, you're still underwater. But if you sold Martingale, right? More and more you sell. Oof. You better take that trade off the table. Then some guy was saying, now they got one of the bass player in the band said, I heard it's going to fucking 100 grand. Yeah, I bet right about here, and kind of frothy, kind of toppy, and kind of ridiculous. Is this the answer? Is this the fundamental answer of the crowd to the most supposedly fair country, United States, supposedly, like United States? The girl, what's her name? Miss South Carolina, I think. Which way do they vote? This has got to be like people just going, the banks, everything. You can't trust anybody. But is this because blockchain is going to be how people verify everything now? And people stupidly buy the Bitcoin thinking, yeah, blockchain is the answer for everything. This is the holy grail of security, of DNA, of you can't copy this, you can't fake it, there's no fraud. Yeah, also this is traded amazingly at the Chicago Board of Trade, and that started back here on the chart. Let me zoom out. Back here, actually, this is when it got authorization to be traded at the exchange, and we saw this big sell-off. It became a viable thing. Man, look at that beast. So if you could say stuff like, I got a buy limit pending here. Tops become bottoms. How cute that we got this, and then bubble ammo. That is mind-blowing. That's just mind-blowing. I know it says negative 800. It can't handle it. MT4 can't handle Bitcoin. It's got negative 800 Bitcoin here. I noticed the Bitcoin's being quoted in a different, it's a shiitakes or something, and mushrooms and something. Anyways, I could go on forever. It's fucking unreal what's going on here. The dollar, I would say, is a buy. From a structural standpoint, some guy made a comment on my video about, yeah, that euro really took off. And then there was another guy. I looked for supply and demand people. And this guy said the road is cleared to some ungodly number up here on the euro. And I thought, yeah, on the way to that ungodly number, it's going to be crazy. And I think that, you know, this whole thing about interest rates, and they're going to put Yellen in office. I mean, Yellen is, you know, listen to Yellen. She's a capitalist. Who can deny capitalism? She said that reducing the prices at the, I'm hitting the wrong key there. I'm trying to delete objects. It's not going to happen, but I'm trying to get rid of that. She says that, you know, this reducing the fees and stuff on corporations, you can't deny that was good. So the stuff Trump laid in place that works, you can't get around it. But not the idea that you're going to come in with this guy that's going to say, you know what, boys are girls, girls are boys. We got a problem. But that's not going to affect the Forex market. And I think we've reached this point here where we made it all the way back to that. And look at the pound. So the pound made this insane high. I think it hasn't made this high in, I'm going to say 2 years. It made a 2-year high yesterday. Scalped that. Can it keep going up? Gosh, look at this daily. Look at this move here. This is mind-blowing shit, man. Look at this fucking sell-off. Now, there is no way you're going to tell me that during this month that you were able to, this is Corona crash. Look at that. This is mind-blowing. By the way, over-the-counter trading here. Look at this wick here. You can't hardly see it, but there is a 500 pip wick here, 500 pip bounce house, and I'm going to call this the floor. If you have 1,000 pips stop and you gobble that up in your martingale in here, that's the only trade you need to take. That 1 month. That'll never happen again. I guarantee you this move like this will never happen again. You could have been selling this 100 pip window saying, yeah, I'm going to get out here. I'm going to cash out and go long. And you would have. They would have stopped you out. You still made 500 pips. Look at that thing, man. Look at this move here alone. Now, this is just never going to, there's no moving average crossover system that was going to get you into these nice supply and demand zones. But this took a month. This is a double top on that days go by, you retest the high of the month. That's a month from these dotted lines, these vertical dotted lines. This is climbing kind of the wall of worry here. Now, if you're taking all these pullbacks here, you look like a genius, do you not? Is this not the most obviously epic no-brainer trade? You know, just buying along this. Oh, got a channel trade going here. It's unbelievable. I'm short on a channel here. Well, I really started to make profits all of a sudden. It's crazy. Yeah, no doubt it is. And I have a book around here somewhere. Look at this topic I'm about him here. No? Where it's, I think, 328 chart patterns. And I have the book. I looked through it thinking, that's cool. That's cool. But let's see, do I get in here and ride this move, or do I get in here and ride that move? And can I perceive that this is going to climb up this wall of worry, so to speak? Well, this thing's, after this big drama, I don't know, it's another Brexit number 2 here. Now, mind you, this is the daily chart structure trades, and you can say, yeah, I see this top become a bottom internally. Yeah, breakout, pullback to this internal top. This The scalpers sold this window here and they've cashed out, and it's just a beautiful life, you know. They sold that, they cashed to here. We're going to see people sell, sell, sell. The big boys, the big banks, and they sell a ton up here. Then they ride it back, then they cash out and they call it a day. Or they buy here, they ride it up, and they never took profits, and they're like, I can't fucking believe it. I just missed out on a 1,000 pip move. I have no point. I'm just going to ramble, but that's my current unedited view. You can't be bashful. That's why I think if I was going to have a training course and what do they call them? I'd come up with a very official like symposium. Mastering slut trading. You know, mastering Forex. Well, it doesn't work. I bet you with my thumbnails and I couldn't handle, you know, I'd have to, that's why people have to hire people. If you want to do this, you know, where you're going to market your trading insanity. That's why I think Sue Lee just should have come out and said, I'm Samurai Trader, just deal with it. But it's never a dull moment. Trading certainly is the excitement. And I do find that soothing, kind of the risk, this kind of incremental risk is a little more soothing than this brute force. I built the Holy Grail and pull the trigger. I'm gonna shoot giant shells that cost so much money. You don't have to. You don't have to do it anymore. This is also the idea that people that have landing pages, and I talked to some guy that landing pages, you know, and people that make money on the internet, they know they're making like 3 cents per click. But you get the fucking 100,000 clicks. You know, this isn't quite that bad. But they're not clicking. Somebody else is clicking. And that's why people want to build a robot. But and now they got the faster computer. Maybe I can run in the background. Plus, I got another supposedly fast computer now. Just a word of warning: anybody that thinks an i7 laptop is faster than an i5 desktop that's not true. Unless there's something wrong with my i7 laptop that I bought. This poor thing is wheezing. You know, blowers running. It's solid state drive, same as my desktop, and higher benchmarks, but can't manage. I don't know what it is. Can't manage. Even the, I don't know. But this probably, everyone probably knows that but me. I just figured it out. But just so you know. And same amount of RAM, 16 gig of RAM, same giant 200 gig solid state hard drive. I mean, that is like, to me, unthinkable. I'm used to like that's a 4.3 gigabyte drive. That's all we could get, you know. It's a fat 32. Also, don't try to copy your MT4s over to a fat formatted hard drive, because it'll strip out everything. They'll strip out the source code. You just be left with execution. You won't be able to edit anything when you bring it in. Another fun fact but I have a little bit better color scheme on this computer here. Still has some issues where Windows color scheme is bullshit. I mean, you can have it where you go to. So I went to register on one of these sites because everybody's moving, and I couldn't even see the password window. It's the same color as the backward window, so the hypertext or whatever bullshit. And I kept thinking, what's wrong with this site, man? I can't see. Even Control-A didn't highlight where's the missing, because it kept saying you got to fill this field, and this word password isn't. Anyways, you know how bad it is out there. Or find the bicycle. Out of 9 pictures, you find it. I'm busy. Prove you're not a robot. No, prove you are a robot. Fuck you. I don't know, man. What do I need? Fucking like how about instead of having a thumbprint, how about an anger? When I say fuck, that is what's my signature. It's the way you say fuck. It's right. It's got to be your voice. Then I could just get into the computer, because now you can get a pin. I don't even want to log in. I don't care who sees what's on. Just boot it. Stop it. So, anyways, the market's going to open, and so hopefully I can get back to my normal rants. No, I sat back and watched the show. It was quite entertaining. I must say, I've never thought in a million years that people would boldly steal somebody's car and then after they stole it, drive around the house honking the horn and waving to them going, "Hey, fucker." I mean, really? So that's what happened in the election. And these poor people getting banned from YouTube and stuff. Nobody comes after me because trading's just not political. Not yet. Well, apparently people trying to bet on the Brexit and trade the market based on that. It's so cute. That's the other thing is the fundamental trading. It just doesn't help. Trading volume, trading moving average crossovers, trading level 3, trading all that stuff. Yeah, I'm still getting people commenting about my bashing the level 3 and level 9 traders. Order flow. Order flow's it, man. Okay, listen, I guess, so beer could be it too. Yeah, you know what? A good stout beer. Yeah, okay. So if you're an alcoholic, just pick your poison. Yeah, you could do order flow. If it works for you, I'm saying, that's probably going to be the ticket. But for those of us who realize how silly it is to think that if we just knew how many orders were in at a certain price level that this trade would work, and I'm going to get back to this, my closing statement. This trade, my phone just comes on. Why does it do that? This trade does not have to work, and it goes against everything you've ever been taught in your life. This girlfriend, I've been watching a lot of horror flicks lately, so this girlfriend doesn't have to work either because in the zombie apocalypse of girlfriends that keep on reanimating, and now you've cloned them like Mickey Mouse and the Wizard in Fantasia where the broom's pulling too much water and so he takes an axe, hatchets the broom and the broom multiplies and now he's multiplied the problem. But here multiple slots is the cure, right? You're not going to get, they used to call it venereal disease. You're not going to get sick trading, and especially this is the other thing. If you want to get like inflatable sluts, get a demo account. Why would you want to risk real money, as they say, and all this intensity? It's like mask up for trading. This fear of pulling the trigger. You're not killing anybody. You're not going to kill it. You really can't do too much damage. If you buy at the market with a 20 pip stop on a 1K, how much damage are you going to do? Now, this is where it starts because you're going to risk $2. If you pull the trigger every hour, you're risking $2 an hour. Can you hire somebody for $2 an hour? Not in this world. It's got to be $15 an hour. So, okay, put a 15 pip stop in. And every hour, buy a 10K. I mean, if you hired somebody, and why would trading be any different? They say trading is a business. Well, trading is an art for me of placing the orders at the key levels in a basket. That's an art. I guess if hunting's an art, then sniping, if you're a sniper and you've got your buy at the market, you're going to buy 2 standard lots. And I've seen people do these trades with 40 standard lots, make $5,000 in 5 minutes. Yeah, you can do that trade. Sure, you can do that. So it's all available. And the adventure, I suppose, of doing it and everything you learn. So everything I learned about trading is totally applicable. All the winning and losing, all the courses, all the harebrained notions of how to save yourself from risk. That how applicable is it now to the election, to Corona? It's amazing because I sit back and go, holy shit. I mean, why do I feel responsible? I mean, the burden. I wish I could jump in to the political world. Like, boom, and just cure everything, Hey, if you just did this, but the problem is the momentum of chicanery and swampism and just kickbacks and good old boys and, oh, dude, it's too thick. But just to expose it, that was the beauty, see? So it's almost like finding out your computer has a virus because you loaded too much data on it. But it's amazing. It is amazing. And now, amazingly, because of this installed regime, uh, digitally installed regime, USB president, you got wow, what a world, man. Stuff turns really hard on a dime, doesn't it? And when it gets down to it, does it really matter? We didn't know the structure's been in place for a long time. There's a Chinatown for a reason. The Chinese want a Chinatown. Nobody's forcing them. They're not racist because they want to speak the same language. But to have these, so to be objective is certainly the power and in the market. So this, people say, and I think people do say that I want to trade the guppy because it moves like a fucking rape date. It moves giant. It moves 150 pips, right? So you don't have to trade. You could just trade one ticket in there instead of 3 tickets in the dollar versus the pound. But then you got to be more precise again, and you start to get the problems of the precision there. But I think the traders can look at the election and look at the corona and say, you're kidding, right? I mean, this is like somebody saying, you got to buy this penny stock. I mean, the corona thing is like, it's still showing up on my Weather Underground. What the fuck? Well, tomorrow it's going to be sunny and it's going to be this temp, that temp. And then the very last column, the 4th column, is how many people died in your fucking county, in your town, in your city, in your village. And it's just ridiculous. Come on, people. Just harebrained shit. Certainly fascinating, though. Never thought I'd see it in my lifetime. And to sit back and watch it, and the testimonials of fraud, just mind-blowing. Like, yeah, he stole my car. There's him stealing it. Yeah, but, he's just borrowing it. You don't understand. But we have to redescribe these things, right? Maybe we should do that for trading. I didn't get stopped out. I just got, it's a hedge. Okay, I'm hedging. I get stopped out. I got risk reduction. It's just called risk reduction. I just reduced my risk, see. Oh, I admitted that it was rigged. No, it's not rigged, is it? Wow. And so the carnage is the bonus if you are in the United States because we're very adaptable people. We're out of our fucking minds. I mean, most people in the other world would say, what are they doing over there now? Whereas I think if you went to, I kind of understand how people in the other side of the world think. Like in Britain, they're like, we've been getting butt fucked for years. Get used to it, man. What's the Americans think they're going to fucking, what do they think they're doing? They're going to stop corruption? What are you, nuts? Dude, get your own, like that's, I guess that's when it comes down to the Forex again. It's too hard to trade. Just sell courses on trading. Hey, I think you got something there, buddy. And then, like, how are you managing that thing? Like, if I had people saying to me, it's bad enough people are saying, hey, are you still doing videos? Imagine these are people depending on me. I'm not dependable. That's why I'm trading. I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy that's showing up. I guess I could show up on time, or maybe even early. Maybe I show up early instead of on time. On time is a little too kind of too close, but no, just not really crazy about the whole thing. I could see it from the beginning. Couldn't anybody see that at the age of 12 years old? When you were 16 years old, didn't you know, like, you're like, let's see, lying's good. It depends how, if it's a white lie or if it's a real lie. I guess white lies are softer, black lies are harder. I don't know. But you just had to say, and then when you came into the Forex thing, you said, can I trust this guy? I mean, is he trading real money? Does he know what he's talking about? And if he knows what he's talking about, and so does another guy, they're both making money, but they're using different techniques. Which is the best technique to go with? And I still think that to this day, I'm going to buy some more musical equipment. And I still will stare at the fucking thing and think, is there a better one? So I'm not really going to pull the trigger, and I'm not going to be a slut when it comes to that and buy like 40 guitars and then just play them all at once. But see, that's why these things don't transfer well, because don't you want the best guitar? Sure, maybe you got three, they used to say, if you have Les Paul and a Telecaster and a Strat, then you kind of covered your bases. You can play country, you can play Hendrix, and you can play, I guess, whatever you play in Les Paul, Allman Brothers. Or you say, I have an acoustic, I have a Martin, I have a Strat, and I have a Les Paul. Leave the Tele out of it. You could play country on a Strat. So I have a single coil, I have a humbucker, and I have a, I'm going to go to musical highway here a little bit, but in your toolbox of trading, I got a market order, I got a limit, and I got another market order. So, but it's just so hard to imagine that. So the first book I think I bought was Technical Analysis by McGee and something. Two guys. I thought, well, they don't know what the fuck they're in. Stochastics in there. All the standard settings, right? So all the out of the box settings for MACD. And I thought, well, if they don't know what they're talking about, they must know, right? And I got the book, and it's like 200 pages, and I read it extensively. Like, I read the fuck out of this thing, right? This should help me. No, it didn't help one fucking bit, because it actually made it worse in the terms of like, so should I look for this pattern? Is this a setup I'm looking for? Wait, am I connecting my Fibonacci's at the right levels? Will I be there when the trade happens? Should I wait for an engulf with the Fibonacci? Okay, so should I get like a black dress? Because they said those girls, they like that little black dress. So I think a couple of cocktail dresses in case I can't find the right girl. Maybe I'll just get a size 6, a size 8, a size 10, and maybe size 20 in case, you know what? She might have pretty eyes. So, actually, I know a girl like that. You look at her face, you're like, fucking A. And then you look at her body, you're like, okay, no offense if you're like a fucking, look like a blimp. But I mean, I guess if you're into that. But there you go again. You know, he's trading blimp slots. Look at this guy. He's making so much money. And that would be a separate module in the trading system, of course. But I'm going to throw it out there. Anybody who wants to become a millionaire selling trading courses, it has to have a little bit of spice in there. So, I'm sorry, my lip. My lip is dried out and cut. It's blistered because I neglected to turn on the humidifier. So I can't laugh. So I'm having to brace my upper lip. But I'm telling you, there's a gold mine there for kind of a more edgy approach to Forex education if you're interested. That would definitely, I'll tell you what, you'd never have to pull the trigger on a trade again. Like this week's module is also the sound effects. I wish I had the time to donate to trading at the market. So market orders, I could sell those, I suppose, or you could donate. And I think it'd be hilarious because I don't think I'd put it on trade ever again without laughing my ass off. So you could have like a country trading at the market, country trading at the market. A guy showed me how to do this. Some guy over there in Europe showed me how to trigger the sound file. So if you trade, say you have a 20 pip stop to make 40 pips, and you pull the trigger on that, and it'd be like the country platform, and it'd be like at the market, 20 pip stop, and just you could have like samples in there, and you could have for every increment, 19 pip stop, and it would make trading more fun. Because to hear that door slam that MetaTrader came up with, what the fuck? But I actually, in my scripts, I do have the thing that says insert sound here, so it is available. But you have to go into MetaTrader inside the sound directory in your folder, and you've got to set up all the sounds, all the wave files in there. But you could have them, and that would be fun. I should maybe do it for fun on here, but what is it? These people take all these courses, and some guy said he took the ICT course. Oh, the problem with the ICT is that I'm sure if you look at this chart here, this is a 15-minute chart. You're really going to tell me there's an order block on here? I mean, there's a million order blocks on here. Come on. It's fractally speaking, But yeah, that's okay. Hour and 44 minutes of nonsense. But yeah, I'm trying to. But the system's up now, and I've got the auxiliary computers ready to rock. And it took a while. And even when I got Windows running again, they're asking you dumb shit like this recording program I'm running. Every time I boot it up, it goes, "Are you sure you want us to?" I'm like, dude, I had to tell Windows never fucking ask me another question again. And this Cortina shit on here, they're probably listening to my, I did say election, so I'm sure they're running this thing through what is that place, over that underground place where they keep all those, they're listening to all our stuff, scanning for important things. Probably Davos computers, the Bilderbergers and the Rothschilds and the, oh man. Anyways, so I'm going to upload this thing for what it's worth, as they say.